In today's video, we're talking about the EURUSD as it bounces between support and resistance. However, it does look like we are about to get a break from this range. So I'll have the details in today's video, the key levels to watch, some potential targets, and also the latest on the DXY. Now, if you do want my help with your trading, including See My Trades Live, that includes entry, stop loss, and take profit, and also daily setups, real-time commentary in Discord, VIP-only videos, and also the full course, be sure to check out the link in the description of this video for 85% off lifetime access. And also, if you want to get in without paying for it, then you can sign up with my recommended broker, Blueberry Markets, deposit $5,000 or more with them, and I will grant you lifetime access to our group, no questions asked. And of course, that is an affiliate link. See the link in the description of this video for that as well. Looking at the EURUSD, guys, daily time frame, obviously a very sideways market here. For the most part, markets have been pretty boring, if I'm being honest, for the most part here for the past few weeks. Really not a whole lot to do in terms of these markets, including the euro, the pound, etc. You can see here just kind of locked in a range between 115.80 down here and also this 117.20 area. So what we discussed in recent videos here, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, is that this trend line off of that July high up here, we recently had a failed break above this in the 4-hour. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, you can see we have some touches up here in this area, right? These highs back here. You can see where we got the close above, close back below, retest as new resistance. Now, this right here is important because, really twofold. One, this is what I teach in the course. This kind of failed breakout right here, shorting on this retest right here, is exactly what I teach in the course that's in Discord that VIP members have access to. And furthermore, whenever you get a fake out like this, even something on the 4-hour time frame, this can often be a signal of what's to come. And even though the euro is clearly finding some support here this week, you can see where, this failed breakout right here, even though we did get a nice move lower down here toward this support area, this does, as I said, often indicate that you are about to get a larger break in that direction. So in the case of the euro, that could mean a break below this trend line here over the coming days. But of course, it's also important to go with what's on the chart. And right now we have the market holding below this support level. So looking at the daily time frame, this is the trend line that we've discussed off of that February low. You can see it's a little bit of an odd trend line because we don't really have any touches through here, right? But you can see where off of these recent lows, we do have some really nice touches through here for the euro, and especially here over the last week or so here in September, because if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see where this level comes in perfectly off of these recent lows. So we've got this low back here, you've got this one, and now today's low, okay? So this area around 116.30 is going to be key support for the euro. Now, one thing to remember here, and we also discussed this in recent videos as well, is that you have this single print up here, this TPO single print up here at 116.85. Now, this is from this drop. So if we go to a 30-minute time frame, which is kind of the industry standard for TPO, you can see that back here on this drop, very aggressive drop out of this range. And we saw a retrace up here just below that single print. However, this single print is still there, guys. This high back here didn't take it out. This high didn't take it out. So there is still an imbalance just above those recent highs. And considering that these are, what I call equal highs or what are termed equal highs back here, and we have that imbalance just above, there is still the chance that we get a move up here toward 116.85. Now, I want to be clear. I am not saying that this is a long from down here to target this. I'm not saying that because right now what you're seeing is the euro having trouble getting off of support. Right now, this looks relatively weak here from the euro with it, really unable to bounce all the way back toward resistance, at least so far. So again, guys, I am not saying that this is a long. I don't think it is. However, at the same time, if we were to see the euro come up here and take out these highs, which is still a possibility while above the support level, if we were to see that, then I think this becomes resistance, and that's a potential short in my opinion. All right, so that's the point there is that, again, I'm not saying that this is a long from support. I don't think it is. But this area up here around 116.85 is going to be resistance if we see a retest. Okay, now if we get a breakdown below this trend line, then that could open up lower targets. However, the one thing you've got to keep in mind with trying to short a trend line like this, okay, so you have this ascending trend line off of that February low, and you've got all of these touches through here. The one issue with trying to short something like this is really twofold. In this case, you have this sideways range. You have all these lows back here. So if you're trying to short through here, you're shorting very close to these lows here and also those ones around 115.80. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. Not a lot of real estate here to play with. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that really, ideally, you want to always short high and long low, right? That kind of goes without saying. However, whenever you're shorting an ascending trend line like this, a break below an ascending trend line, if we do get that break, then the issue here is that you're technically shorting kind of low, okay? And what I mean by that is that in the context of this range, right? If I were to ask you, where do you want to short? Where do you want to long? You should be saying, well, I want to short up here, right? At these highs. I want to long down here at these lows. And so if you're shorting then through this area, you're essentially shorting below the mid-range of this current range for the euro. And again, this kind of ties in with the fact that there's not a lot of real estate to play with here between 116.30 and 115.80. Okay, so for me, it's not really something that I would entertain. Again, I think if we get a move up here to sweep these recent highs around 116.85, I think that would maybe be more appealing here for the euro to look for shorts up here on a sweep of these highs and a tag of that imbalance around 116.85. All right, I'm not saying that we'll get it, but for me, I would much rather short up here in this area, or really, obviously up here in this area, if we get it, than trying to short on a break below this trend line, just because, again, you would be shorting low, and there's really not a lot of room down here in this region. Okay, now, of course, we have to also entertain the other option here, the other possibility, which is a bullish breakout. Okay, so if the euro can hold above support down here, then first of all, there really is no short unless we get a move up here toward 116.85 and some bearish price action from there. But there's also the chance that we do see the euro actually hold above key support down here, this trend line, and then also move up here to take out this area around 117.20. Now, obviously, if we get that, then you're looking at highs back here around 117.90 and also that unfinished auction around 118.10. But again, guys, looking at the price action here recently, I would not be at all surprised to see a breakdown over the coming days, just given the fact that the euro is really struggling to get off of support here, okay? But at the same time, there is no short while we're above support. And really, again, I don't want to be looking for shorts down here. I would much rather look for shorts up here if we get it, all right? So looking at the DXY now, and as always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, if it's helping, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit that like button. So with the DXY, we talked about this one over the weekend, and again, really, really choppy price action. And this could actually continue until this month's FOMC, which I believe is the 17th. So really, guys, there could be a lot of range-bound price action occurring here for these markets over the coming weeks until we get that Fed rate decision. But looking at the DXY, you can see where it did reclaim this trend line off of that July closing price. Okay, so we had a breakdown here on Monday. This was a U.S. holiday. That was the risk there in trying to play a U.S. dollar breakdown. You can see it was reclaimed the following day. So this right here was technically bullish for the U.S. dollar. And of course, the market is still holding below this area around 98.6. So it's going to take a close above this area to open up the next key resistance, which is 99.35. We've also discussed this recently. Off of these June highs back here, you had the failed break above. And this wick, ignore this, guys. This is a trading view error. The DXY was never up here in this area. So what that means is that we had this failed break back here, and we have yet to see the DXY come up here and give us a full retest of 99.35. Now, another interesting thing about 99.35 is that this is also going to be, if we see a bullish break from the dollar here, this is also going to be very close to the top of this channel. So these lows back here, equidistant channel off of these highs. So you got this area back here, which again, we had the failed breakout above. We have yet to see the DXY come up here and tag this area as new resistance. So if we get the DXY above 99.6, then this area between 99.35 and 99.5 is going to be the area to watch. Now, of course, this lines up with the euro as well. If you're trading the euro, you can use the DXY in these key levels to aid you in your trading. So something like that for the euro, right? If we look at this here, then that could equal a move down here into these lows right around 115.20. Now, of course, that's only if we get the DXY breaking above 98.6 and also this market breaking below that February trend line. Okay, so the jury is out on both of those right now, guys. Very sideways markets here so far. One last thing just before we wrap up is if you are trading this, one thing you could do too, if we get the breakdown below this trend line, again, still a big if. We have not seen the market break below it. It is still serving as support as I make this video. But if we do get the breakdown, what you could do here, and this might seem unconventional, but I do it all the time, looking at these highs back here, you could draw a trend line across these highs. And if we were to get the breakdown, my bet, guys, is that something like this becomes support, okay? So looking at this channel here, you've got the highs up here. You've got several highs along the top of this level. If you take an equidistant level from this low, which is also very close to this low back here, then this area down here, okay, if we get the break below, which this is also a composite from back there in June that I marked, this area down here off of these lows could also become a factor, okay? So again, still a big if, very speculative. We haven't had the breakdown yet. Alternatively, though, if we get the euro breaking above levels like this here, then we could get that return to that 116.85 imbalance. Okay, so Again, guys, very range-bound markets, but we do have some nice key levels to keep an eye on here for the euro over the coming days. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Also, join us in VIP. Check out the link in the description for 85% off lifetime access. I will see you on the inside. Trade well, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.